Hi, I'm Eileen Roach. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm very excited to be here today and share with you something from my vault that's been in storage for a really long time. In the year 2000, I published a quilt called we titled it A Few of My Favorite Things. But it really has a unique history to it. But before we get to that, let's talk about why I'm sharing it. We published this quilt in the year 2000. And then in our last issue, which was May, June of 2019, I wrote an article titled why I embroider, and the whole magazine really featured why other people embroider, because everybody has different reasons. So if I'll show you an image of that quilt, we're going to share the screen here so you can see how pretty it is. And it's like 32 inches in length. And I made this when my daughter was 10 years old and she was into American Girl dolls. So this little bookcase stood on the wall, hung on the wall at floor level, right next to her American Doll furniture. And, it was a charming way for me to express my love of embroidery and let it be a backdrop to her, love of the American Girl dolls. I had so much fun making this quilt. And since we published it, we've had a lot of people ask for the pattern. So that's been a little bit of an issue because the embroidery designs are not available, but they're not all available under the same name. But there are some very close duplicates, or some of the teapots are still available. So our friends over at Embroidery Library has some embroidery designs that would work perfectly for this. And we're going to just switch over to their website so you can see. So in the search box, you would just search teacup, and you'll find they have pages and pages of embroidery designs that would complement this whole project. So as we scroll down a little bit, you can see all the different options. They have teapots, teacups, all kinds of different things. So I think you'll find lots of options out there to complete the quilt with your own expression. But first, I wanted to say hi to Sue Brown. How are you, Sue? Thanks for joining me today. I know you've been busy, right? What are you working on, Sue? Can you hear me, Sue? Just give me a little shout out if you can hear me. I'm not so sure everybody can hear me. Sue Brown, can you hear me? Maybe type in the comments to give us a little thumbs up if you can hear us. And if you can't hear me, then we'll have to see what's going on. I do believe lace, and more lace. So Sue, you can hear me, right? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Great. Okay, she can hear us. That's great. Yeah, so let me share with you. I do have the quilt right here with me. Look how fun it is. It is really a work of art. I had so much fun making this. What makes it so successful? It's the wood grain fabric. Now, this actual fabric, I'm sure, isn't available anymore, but there is lots of options for wood grain fabric. And you want to cut it with the grain mimicking traditional furniture. So you can see the valance at the top. And the shelf, the wood grain goes horizontal. On the back of the cabinetry, in the back of the shelves, it goes vertical. So in the project that'll be posted on my blog later today with the instructions on how to do it, I most certainly call that out, what pieces to cut vertically and what pieces to cut horizontally. These teapots actually are available still at our friends at Great Notions. And on the blog post today, you'll get a link to where those designs are available for purchase. So let's take a look at let's just discuss this recessed area in the back and why it looks so much darker. It is actually the same fabric, but I fused 2 layers of black tulle with fusible web to the wood grain fabric to make it just darker. And, it was a fun experiment, and it most certainly was successful. It takes a lot of pressing because you want to make sure all of that glue goes away. And melt into the wood grain fabric. But, there's no glue there today. Of course, this is 20 years old, but a lot of fun. So let's take a look at that bottom section, the cabinet itself, the kind of cabinet door that has a frame that's curved at the top and then straight pieces at the bottom. And I was able to find a button that looked just like wood. So that was absolutely perfect. The shaping at the top is, this is a faced piece of fabric. So I just lined it with tulle, that same black tulle that I used to fuse here. I just sewed right sides together in a shape pattern, turned it, pressed that edge to give me that finished edge. And then at the upper portion of the quilt, and even at the bottom where the foot is, as you can see, that is shaped, and that's done with a facing also. So, it's a lot of fun. Now, the instructions that you get on the blog today are not going to be, super thorough, but it will give you cutting dimensions and, just an overall general review on what stabilizer I used and the process of when embroidery was applied. The quilting was done after everything was pieced together, and I just free motion quilted in a vertical pattern on the vertical wood grain fabric and horizontal on the horizontal lines. And then I did stitch in the ditch to give us some dimension to those fabric pieces. So I think we have, hi, Stacey. Thanks for joining. Stacey, where are you from? Let's see if she answers, if she can hear us. Okay, we'll wait for Stacey to, but in the magazine, there was some misconceptions as to why, when it was printed in this year's magazine, why the instructions weren't with it. Well, if you really read the article, what I talked about was why I embroider and why others embroider. And it can be because you like to quilt. It could be because you like to do home decor, or possibly you like to do garment sewing or decorating garments. So that was the theme of the whole magazine. And, it's interesting to know that quilting has been a passion of mine for a very long time. But it also, what I did in the year 2000 is a little different than what I do today. Like, for instance, on the wall behind me, the flower box quilt, it's an 80 by 80 inch quilt. I most certainly would never have tackled that in the year 2000. We didn't have the hoop size. We didn't have magnetic hoops then. So everything has gotten so much easier. But maybe you like to work small. Well, in this issue of the magazine, we have a great project from Colleen Bell, and she does a quilted table runner and a chair cover and also even a wall decor item. And so there's lots of different ways to quilt with your embroidery machine. And we always focus on at least one project like that in the magazine. But celebrating, we all like to celebrate, and we have a couple birthdays this month in the magazine that I'd like to share with you. So we have Scott Goodman, our great author of Great Scott. His birthday is today. So happy birthday to Scott. He's all of, probably 49 years old. He's only been around a little while, but we wish him a very happy birthday. And yesterday was my stitching sister Marie Zeno's birthday, and she's 29, I think she is. So I'm always happy to wish her a happy birthday. And one of the best things about having a sister that you can celebrate with is doing it in person, right? So guess who's coming to Texas? She's coming here on June 9th, which is a Sunday. And I said, please, please, please stay long enough so that you can join me on Facebook Live. So she's going to do that on June 12th. She'll be here in the office on June 12th. So I'm super happy about that. And what are we going to discuss? Well, Marie and I have written a couple books together, and we toured the country teaching together, having an awful lot of fun. She's a commercial embroiderer, and she really knows her game for sure. So we're going to celebrate June together, which here at Dime is Hoopapalooza month. We are going to have special offers coming up on hoops and hooping devices, and even software, which will be a first for us. I can't really tell you what software it is, but we're going to release that on Friday. And if you've been having trouble seeing your embroidery, this software package is going to be the solution you've been looking for. So look for that announcement on Friday. Super excited about that. Hoopapalooza is going to be all kinds of hooping. And you know, my sister, the commercial embroiderer, she will most certainly will share her top 10 tips for hooping with a multi-needle machine, and I'll share my top 10 tips for hooping on a single needle machine. So that's on June 12th. On June 26th, Christine Connor from Amelie Scott Designs, better known as Edge to Edge Quilting, will be joining me on Facebook Live, and she's going to talk about all over quilting and how she has been so successful teaching that topic all over the country. And I'm so excited to have Christine Connor join us on, and that's on June 26th. So what else is going on at Dime? Well, we have a really great special this week on My Block Maker. No, it's not My Block Maker. It's Monster Block Maker. This is a unique product, and I did not invent this. This was invented by PJ Wong. PJ is a instructor at Montevilla Sewing in Portland, Oregon. And she's an avid quilter and a computer technician for sure. So about 2 years ago, she came to me with this idea because she doesn't like to waste fabric. She thinks that when you quilt by block in a hoop, you waste an awful lot of fabric. So she came up with a really unique product. This one is for multi-needle machines, while this one is for the single needle machine. And so you're wondering, what does it do? Well, it floats your block. Let me show you. It comes with 4 templates for the Snap Hoop Monster 8-inch baby lock hoop, 8x8, 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter. And in each of these template packages, you get a 5-inch block, a 6-inch block, a 7-inch block, and an 8-inch block. When I say block, I really mean template. You also get a roll of double stick tape, which is 60 yards of that. So there's clear instructions on how to set up your Monster Block Maker, but basically you're going to put the double stick tape on the perimeter of the template on the front and also on the back. And then you put also the double stick tape on the upper edge and bottom edge of the template. And then you just stick it to the back of your hoop. As you can see, it's just hanging. And of course, PJ Wong, it tells you exactly what size to cut your fabrics for each of the templates and your batting, so that you're not wasting any batting. And she instructs us to cut that just a little bit narrower than the opening. And then you add your quilt top fabric right on top. And you align it, with the outer dimension of the hoop or the inner dimension of the hoop, and finger press that in place. And then when I put that on the machine, it stitches all the way through all 3 layers, and you don't have to worry about wasting a lot of excess fabric. So this is an ingenious invention. I'm very proud of PJ Wong and so happy that she shared it with Dime, because I think that a lot of people who like to quilt with their embroidery machine really enjoy using this product in the 8x8 hoop. Now remember, it comes in the single needle version, and it also comes in the multi-needle version. They're very similar. It's just a little bit different sizing, that's all. So if you have both, hoops, you can actually just purchase one and use them interchangeably between the 2 different hoops. So what other questions are there out there? Because the next thing I want to discuss is Dime events. And if you've had the opportunity to go, or if you're looking for an upcoming event near you, I do have a list of events that are happening. And the next one is the middle of June in Santa Fe. Wouldn't that be fun to go to a lace event in Santa Fe, New Mexico? And then Ruthie's down in Florida in the Fort Walton Beach area. She's having a lace event on June 21st. Keep Me in Stitches in Tampa, Florida. Our good friends down there in Tampa are having a Love Your Lettering event, which will be wildly successful. As we all know that lettering is the #1 thing that most embroiderers do with their embroidery machine. So that event is in Tampa, June 21st and 22nd. Now, then in July, we head up to Wausau, Wisconsin, to Anna's sewing shop to do a design workshop, and that's all about quilting. So that's a really fun event. And then a couple days later, July 12th and 13th, the same event will occur at Julie's Sewing in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think the Packers will be getting ready for football season by then, right? What do we have, Kayla? We have some questions that we are about to ask. A poll. We have a poll that we're going to post because we want to change the time of day that we do Facebook Live. We want to move from Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time to either Tuesday or Thursday. And we would really like to know what day you think would be best. And that 1 o'clock Central, works for us fairly well. And as you know, you can always watch these again in the rebroadcast version. It's always in our timeline. So even if it's not a good time for you to join, anyway, we'd love to hear what your opinion would be. For sure. Okay, so let's get back to what other events. In Kennewick, Washington, on July 12th and 13th, will be a camouflage and lace event, super fun. And then Christmas in July at Ruthie's, again, down in Florida. And July 19th and 20th is it's a lace event in Raleigh, North Carolina at Wish Upon a Quilt. And then a Stitch Lab at Bonnie's in Bay City, Michigan in July 26th and 27th. And then the last wrap-up event, July 26th and 27th, will be at So Much More in Austin, Texas. And that's going to be a lace event. And I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go to So Much More in Austin. The great shop, the really wonderful people down there. They're our good friends. So lots going on at Dime, and I'm really looking forward to Hoopapalooza. You're going to hear all about it starting next week, and I hope to see you back here on June 9th with my sister, Marie, my stitching sister. Can't wait to see her here. Okay, so there's a couple comments that they're telling me to look at. Here from Maryland, first time. Hi, Gail, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. It's great to have everybody here. Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to wrap it up, right, Kayla? Kayla's giving me the high five. What? Rhonda is in, yeah, see, my feed's behind her feed. That's terrible. So Rhonda, where are you in from? West Texas. Oh boy, how's your weather out there? I know you've been having some really bad weather. We had terrible rain here today that came from West Texas. So hopefully you don't, you're dry right now. But anyway, what are you going to do, right? Okay. All right, I'm out today. I'm looking forward to June 9th, and we'll see you then. Take care. Thanks for joining me.